1, 2, 3. For the hall.
For the hall.
For the hall.
For the hall!
Here we are.
Here we are. We're the Hall of
For
Heroes.
the hall.
Hiding the branding.
It's the second time we've had monsters.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored by Monster yet.
Yet.
But could be.
So, for everyone playing the home game,
You're like,
This
who is this person?
is El Randor,
Yep.
also known as Ruben.
I am Ruben, also known as El Randor.
Who's El Randor?
El Randor is our pirate pilot gunslinger
Indeed.
who, at least in the story, is better at flying ships than he is in the game. In our game, it's
And in real life, actual pilot.
yeah.
You actually know how to fly planes,
Yep.
and you're learning how to teach
Yeah.
others too. So
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
for sure.
So I wasn't here for the beginning of this tale. So
No,
you guys
yeah.
tell
Yeah.
me how this all.
That is a great story. So, I don't even remember what brought you to the bar that night. Like, you just randomly happened to be there with some coworkers, I think?
Yeah, so every Christmas end of the year thing, my coworkers and I we would pool all of our tips together and go out for dinner. And so the first year I went, one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, let's go to this bar that I would go hang out at." And we walked down to, it was like a blocker, and we walked down to the old bar that we would used to hang out at, and went down to the basement. And it was like one of the nights where it wasn't an armor night. And we were like, I think the speaker or something was down because it was just playing still playing metal music, but it wasn't playing like the hall playlist.
Yeah.
But I was just off in the corner with my coworkers jamming out to System of a Down, Disturbed, and all the different metal music that I was like, oh, this place is awesome. This place is sweet.
I distinctly remember the second time, I think it was, when you came out.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I was wearing the armor. At
Yes.
that point.
Yeah, you were.
And we had the hall playlist going. And there was a Sabaton song playing.
I think it was. I think it was Stormtroopers by Sabaton.
Yeah. And I looked up in the back booths along the back of the bar.
Yeah.
And I just see this kid just singing word for word one of our Hall of Heroes anthems. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, somebody go get him. I'm giving him a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So the second time I went out was it was a St. Patrick's Day. I was like, I'm going to go out and just see what's up. And I didn't know anything about wearing garb or anything like that. I just showed up and I think
you were in a suit.
I
distinctly remember you were in
the first
a
time.
suit.
The first time, yeah, I was in a suit because I was like, we're at a nice dinner. I'm going to wear a nice suit.
Yeah.
The second time, I think I have an alpaca fur poncho. So I was like, I'll wear that because I remember her saying that they wear armor. So I was like, I'll wear my poncho. And I went out on St. Patrick's Day in my poncho. And I was just hanging out at the bar. And I remember distinctly, because we had talked briefly on the first night. And I was like, I came back on St. Patrick's Day and you're like, Ruben, right? And I was like, he remembers my name? What?
Names and drink orders
Yeah.
always logged into my mind.
Yeah, I was blown away that a bartender remembered my name. I was like, I'm just some schmuck getting a drink.
What are you talking about?
I was like,
One of my schmucks.
yeah. So I'm at the bar and one of the other regulars came over and he was like, Ruben, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, come with me. We're doing shots. And I was like, okay.
Couldn't say no to that.
Yeah. I was like,
that was the first time you had an assassin. And you're like, wow, this is pretty good.
I was like, what is this? And you told me, and I was like, oh, that's what this is?
Yeah. You're like, wait, there's whiskey in this? I don't drink whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm like, you do now.
None of us started drinking whiskey. All of us drink whiskey now that are in Ramsey's presence.
I told you before that I was never a bartender. I was a professional enabler.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you don't drink this? I'm going to make you drink this, and you're going to like it.
And you try to fight it, and you're like, no, I don't really want whiskey. And then you try any other liquor, and you're just like, really just doesn't work.
Yep. Yeah, so I was like, I had that, had a really good time, and I was like talking to Ramsey, who'd like, pop back over every so often, and I was like, I've got leather and like a red pirate jacket. Can I wear that? And he's like, you have to now. That's not a ask,
Yeah.
that's an order.
I'm actually offended that you're not wearing it
Yeah.
in this exact moment.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And it was what was it? Wednesdays and
Yeah.
Fridays?
It was-
Or Saturdays?
It was
That you were, like-
originally supposed to be just Wednesdays, but it just slowly became an every night of the week thing down there.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, I would hang out. I would come out and just hang out. And like the first time I came out, I wore like my full Renaissance garb, like the red jacket that is like paramount central to a Randor as a character now. The
Yeah.
nice red flowing jacket with the.
Speaking of which, we got to get you a corset.
Yes, we do.
What?
This is canon for the game.
Yeah.
So the campaign that happened after I started writing the whole storyline,
Uh-huh.
Randor got a magical corset, and so in game his character wears a corset under the pirate coat.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like
There's some nice male corsets out there.
it's like the magical bonuses it gave. I was like, I'm wearing this. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
I need this as a gunslinger. And so I think in the campaign, I was like, Randor doesn't know how to wear a corset. So he's just wearing it like a vest. He just has it around his waist, not tightened, nothing like that. He's just got it there. And he's like, I don't need to wear it properly for me to get
I
the
was gonna say it
benefits.
works if it's just
Yeah.
on,
As long as
works.
it's on, you're pretty much taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, how do those like? What if is it just touching your skin that it has to be to work?
It just has to be secured and put on.
Just put on.
Yeah.
So technically, you could put it like on your leg or something.
No, because your leg is not a magic item slot in role-playing games.
See, this is where I'm still learning.
Yeah. But yeah, so, geez. It
What
just
year
like
was that? Yeah.
escalated from there. What, that was 2023?
Yes, I want to say 2023. And then, yeah, I immediately just slotted in. I was like, these are my people now. So-
You know that happens.
yeah, it was like we started finding more and more like similarities and things that like I came in on one of the nights that we weren't garbed up and I was wearing a Destiny 2 Moments of Triumph shirt and they were wearing Ramsey and Seamus were wearing their Iron Banana shirts.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
we like looked at each other. He's like, Ramsey looks at me and goes, is that a Moments of Triumph shirt? And I was like, you bet your ass it is. And he's like, wait, you play Destiny? I'm like, yeah. And then that started a whole
Yeah.
like
More
Joining-
escalation of
more.
realizing we're all the same nerd. It's not the Hall of Heroes. It's really the hive mind of heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Shortly afterwards, that was when Ren Fairs season started up.
Oh, yeah, because we went to Canterbury first.
Yep.
That's when we got Seamus arrested.
Yeah. We got to Canterbury and within 10 minutes of getting within the gates, we had already bribed the guards to arrest Seamus. They
Before
like
he goes missing.
yeah. So we walk in and we see the guard like they patrol around and they're like, oh, we arrest people, and we're like, boy, do we have someone for you to arrest.
For the malicious destruction of the Queen's cabbages.
Yes. Yeah.
The ravaging of cabbages. It's actually a chapter in Season of the Raider.
And then so we did Canterbury, and then pretty much right after that we went to Murph.
No, we did go to Enchanted.
Oh.
We went to Mid-Michigan
Yeah,
first.
that's right.
That one was a blast.
Yeah, Mid-Michigan's fun.
So that was like the beginning of the crew.
Pretty-
that
going
was
to
like
events.
That was like the growth of the crew. Because
yeah.
it was pretty much just like me and the core guys going, mostly like me, Seamus, and a few others. And then we pulled Ruben in, and then we pulled in so many other people.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, so we're just going to go everywhere there's a Renaissance festival,
Pretty much.
like 17 people deep.
Yeah. The first time we went to like opening weekend at Murph, we were like, I want to say 15 people, like a 15-person crew. and we were like rolled in, like it was like a hostile takeover. Like we rolled in, giant flagpole with the flag, and we're like, we are here now. And that's actually, I remember you because I have the blue leather jacket or leather vest, and like I've got a really nice sword. And I remember the first time I wore that, you're like, wait, I think I've seen you before.
Yeah, I definitely saw you at the Guinness pub in 2022
Yes.
when I first went with my original armor.
Yeah. So he was like, did you go last year? I was like, of course I went last year. What kind of question is that? He's like, I think I saw you. And we were thinking back and we're like, I think I remember seeing. I think we both were like, after like scouring our brains, we're like, I think I remember seeing each other. But it just didn't register. I was like, that's some nice armor.
Which is, again, still so funny for me because it was my little hiatus time.
Yeah.
Because I'd been going to Merc for years and then dipped during the time that you guys were coming in and planting your flag. So then I come back and I was like, what is that?
Who are they? Yeah, that's probably some of the most fun I've had, like just rolling with a giant crew.
Yeah.
We've had people come and go since then, but
yeah,
like having that, like the first time I ever went to a Renaissance festival with a full crew of people that weren't my parents.
Yeah. Yeah, but we love your mom.
Yes, my mom's awesome. That was definitely like one of the more memorable. I've been going to the fair since my mom brought me there since I was a kid. So I was like, I would love going, but it's a very different experience going solo or like with a couple friends versus rolling with a crew of people.
See, and that's why I had stopped going, is because I was raised by going with a crew of people where we were at least minimum. If we didn't have 10 people with us, we were failing that weekend or more. We had a huge crew that would go. And then I created my own crew that I started going to and everything, and like my friends would borrow my garb to go.
I think I've probably given everybody in our crew a piece of garb in some capacity.
Yeah.
It's actually weird. I'm like the quartermaster of our guild.
Garb is expensive.
Yes, it definitely is. You can definitely find some good, like, non-expensive options and still look baller. But there's definitely like the groups of people, you can tell who has money. Like at fair.
Especially nowadays, I will say you can tell who is buying online. I know, and we just covered this, I think, last week in our episode too, is that it's hard that it's becoming popular in one way, because in one way it's good because it brings good light to this fantasy world and everything, and hopefully it'll make people be less scared of it. I don't know why they'd be to begin with, but they can be sometimes. Yeah. But at the same time, then you have Amazon, Temu. I even just saw Hot Topic is now posting like blouses. Yeah. And they've got like leather bags now and so I'm just like, everyone's jumping on the trend. Yeah. And so I hope people remember that there's a bunch of small businesses out there that have been running for a long time that will make they've been
making this garb before it was cool.
Yeah.
Right. And if anything, some of these big box stores are copying off of them, and it's not right. So, but that's what, going back to what I was saying, is you can tell who just bought their stuff on Amazon because it has a very look to it. Yeah.
Very manufactured look to it.
And the thing is, it's one thing to get like a starter piece.
Yeah.
Or if you can't afford anything more than that, we totally get it.
Yeah, that's not... Yeah, not dragging the people who get Amazon stuff.
Yeah, because everybody does start somewhere.
Right. But definitely...
But if you have the ability to
even if you're just going... you're just going to, like, Mirth and you're buying just a tunic and some pants.
Yeah.
Even if you're just starting off with, like, your base coat of what you envision, that's still cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, too, is last week, is that, like, I don't want to hear somebody say, oh, I'm here... Why are they selling this shirt for $50? I could get it on Amazon for X amount. Because it's not the same item. Yeah, you can get it for less online and go ahead, sure, if you want to. But you're also
going to be getting a cheap version of it.
Yeah, and you're probably going to have to replace it the next year versus...
Or the next week in some cases.
Right. You buy...
Like my garb that I have, I bought... Pretty much all my garb I bought at Murph or some other form of Renaissance festival, and
Yeah.
all of it is still multiple years old, and they're still in peak condition. Like they're still, they still some of them have ripped, but that's easy enough to sew back together.
I've had some of my corsets for 15 years because of how well they're made.
Made stuff lasts.
That's one of the reasons why I go with all the leather, is because worst case scenario, I just got to put some leather conditioner on it.
But then you told that story too, is people have to be really wary and make sure you're doing your research when it comes to leather, because you have to be very careful. There are a lot of scammers out there and everything.
And like I said with my Fawn Forge armor, I had originally bought a brown leather set that it was a bad attempt at a copycat version of this armor, and it just came out horrible.
And you can almost smell it when you first get it.
But like I said, it smelled like they didn't. Yeah, they oiled the leather with car oil.
And because that's the other hard part, is you never know what chemicals are being put into those items too. So that's why I just say is do your research heavily, because you'll never know what they're actually making these products out of. And if it seems too good to be true price wise, it probably is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we essentially went from just doing the bar nights to just turning into this raiding party, just sweeping through Renaissance festivals.
So you were doing both then at that point?
Yeah.
You were doing the bar nights, and then you were doing fair season at the same time?
Yep.
And then we did the Hall of Heroes parade during art fair.
Oh, I've heard about that. I've heard you talk about that.
So we took the flag. We had, oh God, I don't even know, like 6 of us.
Yep.
Fully garbed up.
Yeah.
Just patrolling through the streets of Ann Arbor.
Yep.
We should do that again.
That's fun. It definitely turns some eyes.
Art fair is coming in about 4 months, so.
Yeah. Be ready, Ann Arbor.
We're coming.
We never left. But yeah, that was the fun part about it, was like the crew just was so close.
Yeah.
And we pretty much welcomed everybody that fit the bill for what we were going for.
As most Rennies do.
Yeah, it wasn't really an intimidating thing to dive headfirst into. It was just me going to a group of like-minded people, finding Rennies, the Hall of Heroes, things like that, and going, these people like the same stuff I like. And they're pretty cool about it too. So
they're pretty nice.
They're pretty nice. They're nice to me.
And the leader is absolute chaos incarnate, and it's fun to watch what he's going to do next.
Yeah. Really got me into D&D now. Regardless.
Had you played D&D before?
No. I'd always wanted to. I'd watched Critical Role and like D20 and all that. But I was like, I never really had a group to play D&D with. And then with the hall, they would do monthly D&D nights. Like every month they would have like D&D nights at the old hall. Yeah.
And that was like, have them now.
Yeah, we do still have them now, and they're still a lot of fun.
They might be more chaotic now.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that makes it funnier.
Yeah. And that was like the first time I'd actually been able to play D, and I was like, I love this. I know my rolls are garbage, but I love this. Truth.
I've never seen a human in my life, other than Hamant.
Yeah.
You and Hamant are the only two I've ever witnessed roll so many consecutive wins in a single session.
Oh yeah, it's all or nothing on this boat. It's either 120s,
because every time makes you guys roll, both of you are just like.
It's usually like Hamant and I'll go, and we just go 1, and then it's like a 3. It's not quite a 1.
It's not a 1.
Yeah. And then it's like a perception check, and my perception's plus 15. It's like, all right, so I got a 3, so that's 18. So
right, that's better than me. Corpy does not perceive anything ever. I don't know why.
Yep. Our last Wednesday session, I think you were perceiving your feet half of the game. You're like, I really like these boots.
Yeah, these are great.
These are nice.
They're wonderful.
It's a nice boulder.
I like that boulder.
But yeah, and then so that kind of evolved into we were doing the hall D&D nights, and then Ramsey was like, I've got my own game that me and a few of the other regulars, we were like, I want to play D&D more. And we're like, what if we just played D&D as our characters from the hall? And we're like,
mind blown.
yes. Oh, I was like, I'm in. Absolutely. So we basically just started playing as our Ren Fair personas. And that also adds a layer of unintentional or not backstory to the character of Elran or the character of Kurvka. And Kurvka had a lot more backstory because he'd been doing it for a lot longer.
It was funny because I had only started writing about Kurvka maybe 3 months before you started consistently hanging out in the crew.
Yeah.
And then when we did Season of the Wayfinder based on El Randor.
Yep. Yeah, that was just a lot of fun. And it's definitely like when you're at the fair, I've had people come up to me and I'm like that in
LARP
character.
Group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had a group of people come up to me and I think we're over looking at the bow shop, and they came up to me and we were talking, and he's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I'm El Randor. And he's like, what's your story? And I just dove into my backstory from the game.
Yeah, and he just sat there.
I just immediately started rattling off my backstory from the campaign of El Randor, and the guy's, oh, he's like, they weren't. I don't think they were ready for that.
No.
they were expecting
just
something.
like a simple D&D character bio, be like, I'm a rogue and this is where I'm from, and you're like, no, I'm a disgraced ex-admiral from the Kirdana military.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, and then Ramsey came over and was like, yeah. And we just started a whole other conversation about the hall, D&D, and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, it definitely makes it a little bit easier to play the character for, you're more used to.
It makes it easier to get into the role playing.
Oh, yeah.
Playing D&D.
For sure.
You have that level of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it at least more fun.
Role playing in D&D is so much fun, especially as a different character. I love being El Randor because he's the sassiest person on the planet.
Oh my god!
and it's funny because
Randor is sassy.
It's like the more I've written the story too, I realize that I'm channeling that into your dialogue in the story.
The sassier you get, yeah.
Just so over it. Guys, let's go. We're wasting time. Let's go.
Oh, what's happening now?
Yeah. I guess I'll help. Kurvka's dead again. God damn it.
Yeah.
This is the third time this week.
I got better.
Yeah, because he was telling me that you came in when he so spoiler for anybody who doesn't want spoilers on storyline.
It's already been out in audiobook and on the website. If it's a spoiler to you, catch up.
Is that when the first time Kurvka dies, you would come in and you were like, what? You killed your character?
Yeah.
I was screamed at me. He's like, you killed your character?
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I was like, I read the post, and the next day was a hall night, and I came into the hall, and I was like, you're dead? What? And he's, I've got plans. And I was like, you're dead.
And that's what's cool now about the April event that we're planning with your mom is that we're actually basing that murder mystery event on
the death
his
of
death.
Kurvka. Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
So it's funny because like I said, I think I was talking about this in the last episode. There's that brief window in the storyline where Kurvka awakens in his tomb and then he goes off. And then it jumps to where he awakens.
Yeah.
Like fully alive again. Fully alive. So the murder mystery event on April 19th is going to be that gap in the storyline where whoever comes gets to play an active role on helping resurrect Kurvka.
Dude.
Yep.
I'm so excited for that. That's going to be so awesome. You get to see little old me play a part.
Yep.
Yeah, the ghost of Kurvka for one night only also will be behind the bar for one night only.
Yep, pulling my bartender key off the wall, and I'm going to be slinging drinks for that one.
That's going to be so much fun.
It'll be fun. Yeah, because I'm excited for the drink menu, the medieval dinner. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and that's honestly been one of the coolest parts of it is because, like, originally it was just me and Seamus. So, like, when I really started writing the storyline, and then Seamus goes missing. I'm like, I need allies to help me find the lost dwarven boy.
Yeah.
And that's right at the same time you came into the crew.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, perfect.
Excellent.
Now I have a wayfinder to help me
Excellent.
in my travels to locate Seamus.
And then you were based the whole. So did you base the whole pirate airship thing off of him being a pilot? Or
Yes. It
yeah?
just happened to be the perfect moment and
Yeah.
the perfect individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you tell us a little bit about that and your background on being an actual pilot.
Yeah.
Pirate.
Pilot.
Pirate.
We're just going to mix all the words.
Yeah, it all started as a kid because my dad would always bring me to like air shows, like the air shows at Willow Run. And I was always a big aviation nerd.
Yeah.
And eventually, after I graduated from high school, and I was like, I don't want to go to college because I don't know what degree I would want, and I don't want to spend the money on figuring out what degree I want. And
Feel that pain.
yeah, I was like, that's not a responsible use of money, just like degree hopping for a while. So I went to this like gap year mentorship program out in Idaho where it's basically you just try basically like throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Just try everything. Like I did a bunch of stuff. I did blacksmithing.
Nice.
Blacksmithing is a lot of fun because in high school, I had a brief like stint as like a blacksmith assistant. And I was like, I tried a bunch of different stuff. And then like anytime my mentor noticed that like anytime I would go somewhere, the first thing I would look up is aviation museums in the area. Because I'm just like, I got to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I was like, aviation museums in the area. And I was like, there's Seattle, there's like the Museum of Flight over in Seattle, and then there's a little museum up in Sandpoint, I think. And I was like, I must go to these. And then a few months in,
Must go.
because like I'm a big encyclopedia of very benign, not super useful information about. I'm like really good at identifying what airplanes are what now.
Yeah.
I can look at an airplane and there's an
And
Airbus.
you were
Yeah.
helpful when I was like, why is my airplane making this horrible noise and I'm about to leave in? And you're like,
Yeah.
don't worry, that's normal. And
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. That's normal. That happens. So I'm just like an encyclopedia, especially of warbirds, World War II stuff. And he's, have you ever thought about being a pilot? And I was like, I didn't know that was an option.
Brain.
They let
Oh,
people do this. This is an option. So I was like, hell yeah. So I got back to Michigan and looked up my local flight school and sent an application, and then COVID happened. I was like, COVID happened right as I got back from Idaho. And I was like, one of the aviation schools, the flight club that I still fly at out of Ann Arbor, they were like, we've got a wait list. I know it's not ideal, but when a spot opens up, we'll contact you. And I was like, it's not like I'm doing anything right now anyways. So
Just stuck at home.
yeah, we're all stuck inside and not doing anything. And then on my 20th birthday, like literally my birthday, I got the email saying, hey, do you still want to do your flight? And I was like, absolutely. And then the next week I did my first flight, and that was November 21st. No, November 20th, 2020. And I've been flying ever since, slowly working my way through the ratings. And I'm working on becoming a flight instructor now, which it's hard. It's not easy.
Can't say I wouldn't hope it would be hard though.
It's
Considering you're teaching others.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much information.
The
But
best part is, at least in real life, you don't fly like El Randor does
Yes.
at the gaming table.
yeah, no,
Yeah, who did he make throw up last time? The three
Tracy.
people?
Tracy, yeah. My first time my first time piloting an airship in the campaign, we were at Haven, and we were Or I think it was the second time. I was
Yeah,
like,
the first time you definitely scraped the ship along the rooftop of the Hall Tavern,
Yep.
leaving the capital.
And I was like, it'll buff out. And then we get to Haven.
It's fine.
We get to Haven, and we're like, we rescue this princess. My ship gets blown up. He knows where this is going. My ship gets blown up in the attack on Haven. But there's another Cardana airship.
No,
at
that
one
was
of
a
the-
Xanager ship.
yeah,
that
it
we
was-
took. Yep.
So I like,
Flint Badax's ship,
Yeah.
no less.
and so I see the ship, and I was like, it's something. So we run to the ship, and this poor princess. We go to take off, and I roll 2 natural ones in a row, fitting, and the princess was not buckled in,
Oh,
and she just got ping ponged around the inside of the cargo hold. Like she got knocked unconscious, and she just got ping ponged around the inside of the cargo hold for a little bit. She was fine, but
it's fine.
she was fine.
It's fine.
But and then we finally got out, and like her guards were like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "I said put your seatbelts on."
In the cargo hold.
I forewarned you.
I
should have jumped inside the barrels or something.
Yeah. No, it was. She had a bad day. It was like, yeah.
So what's funny is I was actually talking to my friend Ben recently, and there was a different version of what happened to that princess in the campaign that he was in. We had a half-orc cleric, I believe, in the party.
Oh no.
Who ended up casting some spell that basically created a pit underneath her. She fell, or no, so there was an arcane caster who did create pit. She fell into the pit. The half-orc cleric was trying to rescue her. He's on a cast wall of ice underneath her to catch her fall. And I was like, okay, that's a great idea, but I'm going to need a reflex save for you to be able to time this properly. So he rolls a 1.
Yep.
Oh.
Ends up capping the spiked pit at the top with a wall of ice. So she's stuck inside of this magical spiked pit that just condenses and crunches in on her. Yeah, she didn't survive that either.
That poor princess
Does
has
she
died
just keep getting
multiple.
resurrected? Or
No, it's just I've done different variations of that specific storyline. So you got to realize, like, even the campaign that you're in, the campaign that the whole storyline is based in, that's 4 different versions that I've played out. And I'm just picking the best parts of it
yeah.
from each campaign and throwing it all into one cohesive story.
Storyline.
And Hamat has been in like what?
Hamon's
3 of
been
them?
in like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
So
He's
he's
seen
watched
so
that
many.
princess die so many times.
Yeah.
He's seen the fall of Haven, spoilers, probably 3 times now. Yeah.
The princess dying is a canon event for her.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. She had to die to give other characters from her tribe the spotlight.
Yeah. It was awkward explaining to her mom that I fed her to a dragon, though.
There is that.
It's not my fault, though. She was already dead. She was already dead. The dragon was hungry. He needed corpses. I was in a mood, and I was tired.
I was in a mood.
I
That's
was-
very Al Randor.
Yeah.
I was in a mood, so I just did it. Sassy, we said.
Oh, all the time. Always. And her family gets it. Like,
They definitely understand. And then
But-
Hamont's character did smooth things over.
yeah, he did. Hamat being Hamat.
I don't
He's
think there's
the
been
only
a
one
single...
that has diplomacy at all.
Hamat?
Yeah.
No, in that campaign, I think it was bluff.
Oh, was
Yeah, I
Because
think
I distinctly remember him like doing really messed up things and being like, bluff 32.
yeah. Yeah.
Stealth 26.
He was. What was his character's name in?
I honestly
remember.
can't remember the name of that Inquisitor. Hamant, if you're watching, comment on
Yeah.
this. Tell us who your Inquisitor is.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that was wild, though, because and that's actually one of the funny things is without ever actually playing a bard, Hamant has somehow been the bard
Yeah.
of every campaign.
100%.
Like, he's the one that seduces the evil people. He's the one that had to go adventuring to pay child support in one campaign. That actually had, yeah, he had an encounter with a barmaid and realized a little bit later in the campaign that she was pregnant with his kid. So he's, guys, we got to go adventuring. I got child support too.
Oh.
No.
Hamant is, for someone who rolls so bad, he's the biggest chaos goblin, and it's the funniest thing in the world. Every time.
I don't know. I think I lately give him a run for his money because I made him walk away at one of the last times. He was like, I'm out. I'm going back to the city. You guys screwed this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was...
Yeah, like we were talking about in the last episode with the whole footage.
Which the fact that we got that somewhat sorted out is a miracle.
I did leave you guys on a oh no kind of cliffhanger.
Yeah, the fishing villages, they need to move out.
They need to move out.
They need to relocate.
Nothing good has ever happened in this village in that campaign.
Nothing. Granted, we haven't helped, but it's
That would technically be the second time that Radio has tried to burn that village down with that dwarf.
oh, that's still one of my favorite videos I have on my camera
So
roll,
that's why he lit himself on fire.
among other reasons.
Yeah.
Because that's
does
just
that.
Yeah, the first time, it's still one of the funniest videos I've ever seen because it was like
Hamant had to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
And
in the
all of a
5
sudden,
minutes
like,
that he was gone.
yeah, everybody made the worst decisions together.
Radio by himself decided, you know what? Village is haunted. I'm going to burn it down.
So he like lights his hand on fire
And just starts
goes
walking up to the
touching
houses.
houses.
Yeah.
Hamant gets out of the bathroom and he's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Why are you burning my village down?
And there's a video I have of
They're
like,
screaming at each other.
It is a yelling match between him
I'm just
Radio.
sitting there.
And he's the video of him. He's just like this, and he's just like he has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face, and like in the video, Haman's, I leave for 5 minutes, I come back, and shit's on fire.
And Laverne's looking at me pleading, can you sort this out? I'm like, no, you guys figure it out. It's
You
your
guys
party.
do it.
You made this happen. You figure your way out of this.
Yeah, it was probably the most chaotic like 20 minutes.
That's
then
exactly
it's
how
like-
the village thing happened because you weren't there for that night.
Nope.
Is it was within 30 seconds of all of us trying to do something at once that then all hell broke loose.
That's usually where.
Yeah,
it
because
happens.
because you're all doing independent things that make sense
Simultaneously.
to you and only you. And when I then look in the order of operations, who's doing what in what order, I'm like, okay, are you all ready to hear what is actually happening simultaneously here? Because this is great for me.
Yeah. Teamwork, never heard of her.
Oh my god.
It's
So
yeah.
where are we at with the Wednesday campaign? Even now, we've got that coming up on Wednesday, the monthly one.
Oh, so the hall campaign that I'm doing?
Yeah.
So that one,
Are you
Had-
just doing one shots?
I've been doing one shots, but at the same time, each of the one shots leads into the next one.
Yeah.
So like last one was like
You-
we
you
left
stole an
off on,
airship.
yeah, we stole an airship.
Oh, Randor got an upgrade.
Yeah,
It was so
yeah, I
funny
did.
too because I remember going to that one and him being like, I wonder if he's actually gonna get this airship or not.
Oh yeah, because I
he
drew up that
wanted-
huge like poster board map.
Yeah, and you wanted to give it to him, but you're like, let's see if he actually
Yeah.
does it.
Well, we did
the
we
right
did
way.
it. We did it.
Yeah. Well,
We-
thanks to in part to Mom just bombing everything. She's just everybody else is
And
downstairs dealing
Mom
with
and drunk Xanagers.
the bard, the
Yeah.
topless bard, and she's just up there bombing everything.
Having the time of her
You
life.
guys did technically destroy the Xanager outpost. So,
Through no fault of her own.
So yay.
End results, really.
And
Yeah.
get it done or get it down. Our poor new mercenary, though, has to be in the bar and
What's his name? Villain?
villain.
Villain.
Poor villain.
Villain, he's not dead,
He's
But
a little
he might
scuffed
be a
up and he's
little
but he's got a
Singed.
really long walk home.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
He's resourceful. He's a rogue. He'll sort it out.
Yeah. And it's fun too. That's got to be a difference too. And like you went from like playing in the old German place to now we've got the whole theater that we play in, which is fun,
Yeah.
roomy.
Although having the basement flood is always fun.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you guys said that the basement used to flood.
There is a really beautiful photo of Seamus barefoot behind the bar with a squeegee.
He's like squeegee and he's like in his tunic and he's like doing like his Seamus stance where like
Yeah.
he's like
Power
yeah,
stancing.
he doesn't stand, he like is in a power stance.
Yeah.
And he was doing that behind the bar and I took a picture of him and it was like,
He's probably doing one of those poses in one of the videos we've posted.
oh, 100%.
Yep.
Because that's just his, everyone has like a natural standing pose and that's just how he stands.
And in fact, one of the last TikToks that I posted of the crew all together was one of them is Seamus crouching with, because remember when you guys were at one of the hall nights, there was somebody had a helmet.
Christian.
Christian,
Yes.
yeah.
Had the knight's helmet, and
Yeah.
you guys were all putting it on each other and smacking each other
Yep.
with it.
Yep.
With
Well,
your
we had
sword
us to
stuff.
see if the helmet protected your
There's
head.
so many good videos from that night.
Yeah, that like shocked me at like how much my ears rang. Like how much like just like the metallic
I mean, when
clang.
somebody puts a metal thing on your head and then smacks it, your ears ring. What?
Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
I thought.
Never would
Definitely-
have anticipated that.
Definitely not me. Definitely not me. Yeah,
The
definitely.
sad
Like,
part is that's probably exactly how men used to play back in the day. You guys basically just did exactly what all medieval men probably always did.
oh yeah,
Why wouldn't we?
it's there.
You guys are looking at me like crazy. Like, why wouldn't we?
Yeah,
Why aren't you?
yeah. You don't get a metal helmet and not see how well it works. That's just. It's scientific experimentation.
Exactly. Everything we do is for science.
Yes.
So now you guys are just gonna get armor sets and try shooting each other with.
Don't
things.
tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I think that pretty much that wraps up the whole experience because then 2023 then leads into obviously the fall of the old venue. And
Yep,
we've talked
yep.
about that. And then we all restarted everything last year in 2024.
Yeah,
With-
and really dove like head first into the Hall of Heroes, becoming the Assassin's Guild.
Yep.
Yeah. You
Which
were
that
heavily
was-
involved in being part of that.
That
yeah.
was super fun, and that's as like someone again as like a Rennie who like would go, but I hadn't even known about guilds and like
neither.
all of that.
Until we drug you into the road
Oh.
den in 2023 and you got to taste Malort for the first time.
Yeah.
I've heard that was not
There's
a good time.
no, there's video evidence of this, and it's my reaction is like it's very like the initial reaction is very like calm. You just don't get the 10 minutes of aftermath of me
Yeah.
like it wasn't retching, but it was just constant like it's not going away. it's
Why
still,
won't this end?
it's still there. Yeah, so that was like 2024 because I was like, all right, with the whole dagger or the clothespin game, I was like, I'm targeting rogues. I don't care.
Yeah, no,
I'm
after
killing-
what they did to you.
I'm killing as many rogues as I can. And I think my number was up to 7 or 8 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's still like, it was like catching the rogues is always fun because it's, you know, to their badges, the triangle one, the triangular badge.
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
So like you look for the triangle badge. And the rogues, they'll do, it's called roguing,
Oh, yeah.
where they'll rogue
You've
someone.
been rogued.
Yeah. Yeah, Robin has been rogued. And it's what they like. It's usually a maiden stands in the center.
I was saying
then,
that sounds dirty. We should probably
Yeah.
might want to explain what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You've been wrong.
Yeah. No, it's from my understanding, and Ramsey can correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a maiden stands in the center, and then all of these rogues stand in a big circle, and it's like a
one
and
at
they
a time.
come up to you one by one, and they say something. Individual, catchy. Like for me, they were saying different things about. They knew Corpy's character from us. It was a few weekends in, so they had gotten to know the Assassin Guild. They had gotten to know me. They'd already known you guys. But they'd gotten to know me and my character a little bit more. So they were coming up individually and saying,
"Please don't kill us."
Different things. And it was funny because I remember you even saying one of them said in the beginning should we do this? She's scary.
It was actually Rockwell, the leader of the rogues. He came up. He's like, "Do you mind if we rogue your lady?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care." He's like, "Do you think she'll be mad? Because she's intimidating." I'm like, "You're fine. Get her."
Meanwhile, I'm like, I see this circle of rogues, and I'm like, yes.
So he's just creeping behind each and every one of them, close pinning them.
Oh, while they were doing that?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Because I had no idea what was happening. Because that was during, we had gotten a big group of people at a certain amount of time, at a certain time.
That was right after the big group photo.
We were taking a big group photo for the 2024
Well, actually, that's
year.
where the audio for our intro, for the hall, that's
the hall.
actually from that moment.
Yeah. So right after that, I'm standing around trying to do my thing, trying to get videos of everybody, because I'm the one that takes all the hall videos for the most part and stuff like that. Except for a shout out to Tracy and Natasha, who have been helpful in videos. Oh, and Haman too. Yep. And anybody else that's sent photos and videos, appreciate it. It was during that, so I'm taking videos, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why am I in a circle? What is happening? Why is everybody on their knees and in a circle? This is weird. And then I didn't know at the time all the rogues yet. So I'm like, they're coming up to me individually with flowers. I had never heard of roguing, so I didn't have a freaking clue about what was happening. And then you come up at the end, and then everybody explains it. And I was like, oh.
You're like, thank you, but I'm going to kill all of you now.
Yeah.
It was... Well, because I'm trying to take video of whatever's happening.
You're like, I'm busy. I'm busy. So I'm like, I see this circle of rogues, and I'm like, target rich environment. And I just started, I think I clipped 3 of them. And then I a few weeks later, I stumbled upon another roguing. And there's only one rogue who will not die by my hand, and that's Mike Dynamo. We love you, Dynamo. Because he was
everybody's boyfriend.
Yeah, everybody's boyfriend. I'm like, because he was the only person who's like, we don't have to live as they're like, Ruben, he's never heard of Malort. We got to give him Malort. And Mike's, we don't have to live like this. We don't have to keep doing this, guys. And so I'm like, I stumble upon another roguing, and I was like, oh, awesome. And I just start clipping. And Dynamo's on the other side of the circle, and he sees me, and he goes, and he just throws his hands up. I'm just clipping rogues.
Yeah, I think everybody at Murph, that's when a lot of the guilds realized how ruthless we will be with the clipping.
We killed the king. He killed the king.
I did do that.
Which we're not allowed to talk about.
Oh, we're not?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we didn't kill any king.
No,
I didn't kill a king.
I definitely didn't assassinate the king.
Yeah.
Except for the video that is clearly up on TikTok of me swooping in like a damn ninja.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, it's definitely fun having that dynamic with the other guilds.
Well, they really enjoyed it too. I would say a lot of the other guild members, I think, are even more excited than we are. They love the game. They think it's hilarious. Even though they're even at events, they're like,
yeah, it's
do I have anything on me?
Yeah,
as soon as they
not
see
even
us?
just the clothespins, but getting him with the poison vials.
Yeah. Which was a new twist, which was cool.
I think the vials was definitely our personal touch as assassins, because a close pinning assassin game that's been around for years.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm not going to claim on it, but I'm going to honor a tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was say it's not restrictive to the assassins. It's just something we've adopted at the Michigan Guild as one of our thing, kind of thing. And we have specific rules, and we've talked about that.
I've never seen anybody doing that at Murph.
I can't say I have
the years
either.
that I've been going. So I'm like, the fact that people used to do this and stopped is stupid. So we're going to bring it back. We're going to make it fun.
Yeah.
It's especially fun when you like have the regular Rennies who come in like the full hardcore kit. Who even like the people who go there and like to have fun, but they're not associated or they don't know anything about the guilds or anything like that, or they're like learning about the guilds. There's one person, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? There was one person, there's a guy who walks around, he's got this full set of really awesome leather armor, and it's a giant plague doctor mask.
Oh, yeah.
And he,
God, we got him so many
yeah,
times.
so he's got, there are people whose sets are real easy targets.
Yeah.
It's definitely people who like have their
Erebor?
Erebor, like people who have their like armor sets where like their cone of vision is like this, and they're wearing so many different layers that you could like yank on them and they won't feel it. It's definitely fun to go for those. And he had posted, the plague doctor guy had posted on the Michigan Rennie's Facebook page. He was like, "Hey, I'm dressed as this guy. This is my costume. If anybody has any pictures, that'd be awesome."
And the only pictures we had are when you clipped them.
I had clipped them, and I just take a picture. I had taken a picture, and I just post the picture of the 3 clips on his garb, and I just said, the Assassin's Guild send their regards. And he replies, "I get poisoned last week, and now this."
There were a few of them that, because, you know, again, like your outfit is like a certain target. If you're like really dressed up, like you're going to end up probably being a target, which I will say, I think our crew is one of the best things about our crew is that we're really good about, we're never going to hurt anybody. Obviously, we're never going to hurt anything of yours. Like we're making sure to clip things that are not like fragile or anything like that. Pretty much stick to garbed
cloth,
people,
leather straps, hats,
that kind of
armor.
Yeah. But it's fun to be able to then be like the assassin guards,
and then having that interaction with outside of the fair, having the interaction with the regulars of the damn Assassin's Guild.
Yeah.
And you're really starting to like make a name for ourselves as the new kids on the block.
Which now somebody had already said they might be bringing me a bag of pink clips, which I'm really excited for. So anybody else who wants to do that, you may have color coded ones now at this point.
Awesome.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's definitely fun with the clips because you can customize them and make them your own.
And I think, again, the guild just had so much fun with it. Everybody who's joined, and we've had a lot of, I don't know what we want to call initiates, people who want to join the guild then, who followed us around and were clipping and poisoning on our behalf. Too, which is cool. So it's really fun to see the excitement. It's really fun to see everybody who like wants to be a part of it. Too. That makes it more fun for us. Not to mention all the in-house assassinations.
Well, like I said, that's just those are training rituals. I want my assassins to practice on each other, so they will master their craft before being set out into the wild.
Yeah, you are at an Assassin's Guild event. Nobody is safe. It's pretty.
You will get pinned.
Yeah,
and you will see 3 clips on Kurvka's back at all time. Those are mine.
Yeah.
Only I can kill Kurvka.
Yeah, it's like he has 3 clips on his back. Sometimes it jumps up to 10 because
everyone else.
Yep.
I think I have one of those photos where it was literally each pin. Was
every member of the guild who was at the fair had clipped to your back.
It's just so easy with those straps, and it's the same thing as anybody who's wearing leather armor like that. That's why Airboth is so easy.
Because you don't feel it.
Yeah, my blue cloak that I have, it has the frills that I can't feel
literally
whatsoever.
The video that you have of me behind him clipping him.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
You don't feel it at all, and then you like go like this, and you go, "What the? Damn it!"
Yep.
So that's really been one of the cool parts, though, is because you had been. At the time, you were like our newest member of the hall.
Yep.
And then got put into the story, started going to fair with us all the time, and now you're one of our master assassins.
Yeah, and I think I'm excited for that too, because I'm excited to see the 2025 season, what that's going to be like with everybody who's interested. I know we've got a lot of people that are interested in joining and everything, so
yeah.
I'm really excited about that. It's been really fun.
It's fun welcoming new people into.
Yeah,
hazing him lightly, if you will.
some light hazing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really like too is we're pretty strict. I think I mentioned this before, but we're pretty strict about who gets entry because we want it to. We have a
want-
participation
and-
level.
And also, you got to be able to fit in with a crew. Like, if you have a clashing personality, then why would you want to join us?
But like we want to try to avoid infighting, drama,
Yeah.
things like that, because it's not what we're trying to have fun.
Yeah.
Trying to have a positive
Not what
environment.
we're trying to do here.
Yeah, we're trying to have fun, enjoy the fair together.
Not to mention the fact that I think we're also all trying to protect our home. Fair is home to
Right.
all of us. We're not just going to let anybody join until you prove that this is home to you too and that
Right.
you're
Yeah.
going to respect it
Yep.
because that's important. And that's part of the whole personality thing is if you're not able to respect us, then you're not going to respect fair. And
Yeah.
we don't accept that.
Yep.
I like that about us.
Yeah.
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 So I can't wait for our April event,
Yeah, it's gonna be
even
fun.
though I've got to die again for this one. But it's okay. I'll get better.
You're like, oh, there's 45 minutes in the makeup chair.
Actually, I think we are actually going to because it's the ghost of Kripka that's going to be Penbar. So it's going to be like the ghostly version.
I would hope so.
That'll be. I think that's really fun. That'll
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah, that'll be sweet.
But then we've got our March steampunk event that's coming up too for the hall, the guild,
It's
Oh.
about flowers and gears and bloom.
Yep.
Gears in Bloom. Yep.
I still got to throw together a steampunk costume. And that's something that I need to start working on. Is different garb that isn't pirate.
Steampunk pirate.
Yeah, there you go.
Randor.
I'm just gonna go to a maintenance shop and just grab a bunch of gears and glue them to glue them to my hat. Done.
You can be like steampunk pirate robot.
Yeah.
It's pretty on brand for the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to make you a gear corset.
Bro,
Oh boy, that would be interesting.
that'd be sweet though. Actually.
You're like, wait a second.
That'd actually be-
Big brain ideas over here.
That'd be pretty sweet.
So thank you for joining us and getting to know our young pilot El Randor.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on pretty much all social medias. There's
Yep.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Our audiobook is on YouTube, but we do have this podcast up pretty much anywhere
Yep.
you can listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all
Yep.
the above.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah. Yeah, and these episodes come out every Thursday. We have recaps that usually come out every Friday. Got a couple we're a little behind on, so we'll be putting some bonus ones out here soon. So keep an eye out on that. And yeah,
Excellent.
thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. And for the haul.
For the haul.
Oh no!
Be your inner child. Be the biggest geek you want. We love you for it. Please
Right.
join us. Come and be geeky with us.
Come be weird with us. It's fine here.